Instead of figuring it out, start working it out. A mentor of mine gave me this great advice a few years ago, and this has been a mantra of mine ever since. Because I can get caught up in my mind. I can start thinking about, okay, what are all the strategic options to consider, and then going through a very specific analytical process. But turns out we can't predict the future very well. That's right. Even if we think we can, oftentimes we believe we can, even if we have all the facts. But once we get down to it, life is a lot like an expanding outline where you don't get to see the next options until you take a few steps. For me, during the pandemic, this has happened numerous times, actually. Specifically, on top of my mind right now, top of mind for me is the podcast that I did, because I figured a lot about the podcast before I actually started doing the podcast, called the CEO Sessions, and I encourage you to check it out. We're on episode number 24 this week, and it's going to be a good one. We've got University of South Carolina President General Robert Caslin, who's going to be joining us on the CEO Sessions. We've had leaders from Dunkin' Donuts and Honeywell, Dell, Dollar General, Advanced Auto Parts, just to name a few. But going back to this, I could not have seen what these possibilities could be unless I actually started taking action. So that's why I'm saying to you, maybe you're considering a life decision, a career decision, a business decision. Instead of figuring it out, it's time to start working it out. Take some next steps. Reflect on how those steps went, and then tweak or modify as you go along. If you need some support in this, reach out to me. I'll be happy to have a quick chat with you about some concrete next steps you can take to start working it out instead of figuring it out.